Discovering Rudolf Steiner's insights into the mystery of Golgotha and its profound significance within human evolution is made possible through the investigation of the hidden teachings of Jesus. Steiner proposes that prehistoric humans had a dream-like consciousness that made it possible for them to communicate with superior cosmic beings. These beings taught the earliest humans invaluable lessons about the nature of existence, but they avoided discussing fundamental topics like birth and death. Birth and death had little impact on people's understanding of the spiritual world during this time period. However, a change emerged as the level of human awareness increased. The focus gradually transitioned from the realm of spiritual interactions to the concerns of birth and death. Because of this change, people started to feel emotionally distant from their spiritual selves as they confronted the mysteries of death and aging. According to Steiner, ancient humans were not prepared to understand these aspects of existence by their cosmic teachers. He says that the incarnation of Christ was a pivotal moment that gave us insight into the meaning of life and death. Christ did not come to earth to eliminate all of humanity's ills or to make life convenient for us, but rather to liberate and fulfill us. He proved to us that our limitations are not imposed by anything external to ourselves. We have limitless potential as spiritual beings who can accomplish amazing things. The incarnation of Christ is a cornerstone for understanding the cycles of life and death, and Rudolf Steiner delves deeply into its implications in this seminal work. This turning point shows how deeply the divine is involved in our lives. Christ's decision to live a human life on earth established a pivotal link between the spiritual realm and the human experience, especially with regard to the mysterious events of birth and death. The Christ voluntarily subjected himself to every facet of human experience. Christ's incarnation as a human allowed him to learn about aspects of human life, such as death, that cosmic beings had never experienced. Christ's role as mediator between heaven and earth allowed humans to better understand the mysteries of life and death. The core of these mysteries were addressed in the unfolding teachings of the risen Christ. These lessons went beyond the bounds of conventional wisdom and human comprehension. The earliest Christians relied on a living oral tradition that emphasized connections to Christ's teachings in the present. Time and the rise of organized religions both contributed to the slow erosion of the early disciples' depth of understanding. However, the core of what the resurrected Christ taught was adaptable to the needs of a modern society. His insights from a higher plane of existence conveyed the gravity of birth and death. Details of these teachings have been lost to time, but the central idea that Christ's incarnation and resurrection provided new insight into the mysteries of human existence is still widely held. The complex interplay between the physical body, death, and the immortal soul is the subject of Rudolf Steiner's investigation into the hidden teachings of Jesus. Steiner's insights show a deep comprehension of the interplay between these factors as they pertain to the human experience. Steiner argues that evolution has resulted in a change to the human body. The human body has become denser and more susceptible to death as civilization has advanced. This process led to a diminished perception of the immortal soul during waking consciousness. The spiritual dimensions, which had once held sway over human consciousness, gradually receded as the material world rose to prominence. In order to fully grasp the interconnected nature of the human body, death, and the eternal soul, it is necessary to acknowledge the divine intervention inherent in the mystery of Golgotha. A departure from relying solely on earthly means of understanding is required, according to Steiner, in order to acknowledge the existence of a super-earthly element in earthly life. To get any closer to understanding the mysteries that lie beyond the reach of mortal perception, this break is necessary. Steiner argues that understanding the meaning of Christ's birth and death requires a journey into the depths of divine wisdom. Individuals can find salvation and inner strength by delving deeply into these experiences and contemplating their meaning. This metamorphosis not only provides comfort in the face of death, but also fosters a profound union with the soul's eternal nature. The differences between ancient yogic practices and contemporary views of the immortal human soul are discussed in a lecture by Rudolf Steiner on Jesus' hidden teachings. The goal of this investigation is to find new avenues that lead to a more profound awareness of our spiritual nature. According to Steiner's research, the ancient yogists developed a special technique for developing accurate perception that relied on a deep affinity with nature and the enhancement of the human rhythmic system. By engaging in such rituals, these wise men and women were able to perceive universal truths that lie beneath the surface of material reality. While not universal, the experiences of these ancient yogis attest to a deep connection with the metaphysical realm. In contrast, modern yogic practices, while providing transitory insights into the essence of earthly life, often fall short of achieving genuine true perception. According to Steiner, these moments may be deceptive mirages that only hint at the deeper mysteries. However, he also claims that there are two distinct ways to discover the divine within one's own spirit. Intuitive understanding gained through creative visualization is the first route. This method goes beyond the constraints of the material world, opening the door to a wealth of insights that go beyond common knowledge. The second route is grounded in an old metabolic view that has been repressed by modern materialism. This strategy actively involves oneself with the physical and metabolic processes that form our existence in order to discover latent truth. In Steiner's investigation of ancient substance knowledge, early Christian teachings play a pivotal role. For example, the sacrament of communion was designed to reignite the natural human desire to learn about the immortal nature of the soul while we are still on earth. These kinds of rituals connect the spiritual and material worlds, shedding light on our place in the cosmos. Steiner uses the idea of intuition to contrast Nietzsche's drug-influenced thinking, which is especially apparent in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Over time, this understanding became deeply rooted in the Roman Catholic Church as it was transmitted from the disciples of the risen Christ. Anthroposophy proposes that it is possible to penetrate to the heart of the Mass's sacrificial offering and the mystery of Golgotha. Steiner argues that anthroposophy, which has no interest in establishing a new religion, satisfies the desire to know and comprehend the Christ by critiquing the 19th century theology's departure from authentic Christianity. Christianity and the mystery of Golgotha are explained in greater depth as time goes on. According to Steiner, the establishment of new religions is unnecessary because the teachings of the resurrected Christ are already contained within the boundaries of Christianity. The essence of Christ and humanity's relationship to ancient divine teachers can be better grasped with an in-depth philosophical understanding. The central goal of the mystery of Golgotha was to give people the fortitude to understand that the soul survives physical death. As a result of Christ's resurrection, human souls now have the opportunity to move on to a higher plane of existence in the cosmos. Steiner concludes that Christ's sacrifice is spiritually nourishing regardless of one's personal beliefs. Last but not least, the investigation of the hidden teachings of Jesus by Rudolf Steiner and their profound connection to the mystery of Golgotha yields profound insights into the intricate interplay between the physical body, death, and the immortal soul. The significance of Christ's incarnation as God in human form and all that it means for humanity is emphasized. Steiner provides a means to accurate perception and a greater comprehension of one's spiritual self by exploring the yogic tradition's buried teachings and wisdom. The message is unmistakable. The Christ event offers more than comfort. It also promises a profound connection with the soul's eternal nature, which goes beyond the bounds of this world. Recognizing the lasting impact of Christ's sacrifice on the human soul, this inquiry encourages people to ponder the depths of their experiences and discover insights that lead to personal salvation and inner strength.